Off season has been crazy. This has to be Madden, not really the NFL. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Breaking Tackles with Manny, who's about to make the grand entrance.
Yo. We about to cook from one kitchen to another with my man Mace in the building. To everyone watching and following on Twitch, on YouTube, thank you guys. Mace, my man, I appreciate you for coming on, bro, and cooking with us. Tony, thank you for setting this up. To everyone supporting us,
Thanks.
We appreciate y'all. How we doing, guys?
Yo, I'm happy to be here. This is overdue.
Facts.
You guys know what it is. You guys are family, G-Man family. I'm happy to be on the show. And let's get the cooking, man. Breaking Tackles. Those who don't know me, you know, you can follow me at Real Mace Black, and let's get to it. Let's cook, guys.
And just to give you guys a heads up, man, I'm pretty sure that anybody who's gonna be watching this podcast also follows Mace, man. But Mace right now, man, Mace is hot right now with the takes, guys, and we had to get him on the show because, again, we value different opinions, and I know that, you know, sometimes in this episode right now, either Mace is gonna have the opinions that maybe Manny doesn't agree with, or I agree with it or disagree with it. So it's gonna be a good back and forth, and it's all gonna be love, and it's all gonna be Giants talk. And I hope you guys enjoy the show, man.
Definitely, man. And like you said, bro, been a crazy offseason. Not just for us in a way, but man, I mean, shoot, it's like it seemed like that one Hill trade to Miami was like 30 minutes.
Right.
You know? Like I stopped at one light, he wanted to be traded. The next light, he was traded.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I mean, and it's crazy too, because I don't feel like the offseason is over. I feel like it's just going to keep on rolling. I think the draft is going to have so many people. I think trades are going to go all over the place because of this draft. What do you guys think about that?
Go ahead, Mace.
Yeah, I think so too. You still got some big names out there: Tyrann Mathieu, Julio Jones, Stephon Gilmore, and you know, like you said, bro, draft day, you're gonna see a lot of trades. You know what I mean? It's been like Madden, literally.
Yeah.
Mace, we got you on the show now, so I want to ask you quick questions that we went over it, but we want to get your opinion on video on it. First and foremost, Giants related news. Giants obviously cut Logan Ryan. That's old school news now. But there's been rumblings on Twitter about Logan Ryan's importance. I mean, I want to hear what's your take on Logan Ryan, brother?
It's a good talk. I think, you know, he was the vocal leader. He was supposed to be the locker room guy, the guy that spread the message. But you gotta keep in mind that was Joe Judge's message. You know what I mean? I don't think it was a financial cut. I just think it was, you know, just a fit. You know what I mean? I don't think, you know, that's what they wanted, and it's clear it's not what they wanted. I didn't have issues with Ryan. I kind of wanted to bring him back for 1 year, just let him be a stopgap guy. But it's weird because they created another hole.
Okay.
You know? So it's interesting to see how they're going to fill this hole. If they're going to go out in free agency. I've been watching Deshaun Elliott. That's a hot name right now, but I don't want to have to spend we have enough holes. I don't want to spend a day 2, early day 3 pick on a safety.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense. So you don't want to address, we are going to need a safety at the end of the day because we only have 2 in the roster right now. So we are going to need a safety. You just would prefer if they pick up somebody from the streets, or some people have said also like Aaron Robinson, they want him to go to safety. I have a lot of trouble with that, but so you want to, as long as it's not a draft pick, you're okay with that?
Yeah, or early draft pick.
I agree.
First 3 rounds, I don't want to. I feel like we got too many needs.
I agree with that. I agree with that one too. Do you think that Logan Ryan is a big hole to fill in the Giants, or do you think right now, for example, Love is good enough to fill that hole, that gap that he's left?
Off field, no.
Okay.
Off field, you know, locker room attitude,
the leadership, no.
that stuff speaks for stuff. But on field, I think Love can. They have a lot of similarities. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So I think Love. It'd be interesting to see. Love has never really had the full opportunity. Give him some stability. Let him play one role. You know what I mean? And all over the field. So it'd be interesting to see.
Man, you got anything on that?
I think a big thing, like I was feeling the same way as Mace. Like I didn't want to go into the draft to draft somebody, or anything like that. But then, you know me, I do mock drafts for fun because that's how bored I'd be when all my girls are asleep at home. But I looked. There's not that much bad prospects in the 5th round. When you look at a dude like a Dane Belton from Iowa, was looked at as like a strong safety in the box, can play coverage. And a lot of people were like, he doesn't play that fast. How fast is he? He runs a 4.3. He runs a 4.43 in the 40.
That's fast.
So yeah, he's fast. Yeah. He's fast. I mean, and granted, like he's not a guy you're going to come in and draft to be a starter, but he could be a guy who can play like that backup, when you got 3 safety packages and you got Love as the slot, you can put him in. I mean, he's a big dude, 6'1", 205. And I think if anything, you're just going to try to maybe put some youth in that position that that Logan was in. And then maybe you're going to try to, a lot of it, maybe they're just going to try Julian Love because Julian Love's a contract year. So maybe they want to see what they got in Love and put him in and starts. Another dude too. A lot of guys give love to Jaylen Petrie from Baylor. Well, his counterpart JT Woods, not a bad dude either. Has the size, 6'2", 193 pounds. Big thing with him as well too. Like they looked at his speed. Obviously, you see his speed. I mean, in the 40, he ran, and I'm pulling up that number right now. But in the 40, he ran 4.36 in the 40. So if we're gonna replace these guys like Logan, I'm cool with replacing him with like late round safeties, as long as they have athletic as long as they're gonna be athletically better than Logan at this point. I'm cool with it because I think the good thing is that we got some dudes in the room that aren't from 1979 as GMs. Right. So that's a big part of it as well too. Now
I agree 100% with what you're saying, and just thinking about Wink's defense. Wink is a dude that likes blitzing a lot, likes to play single high safety, and sometimes even likes going cover 0. I think Wink doesn't want to go that 3 safety look too much. I think that he's done it in the past, but it's out of necessity. If Wink can have 3 corners on the field, if Bradbury's here, whatever, Bradbury, Robinson, and what's our other corner on the other side?
Adoree.
Say it again?
Adoree.
If he has those 3 guys on the field, he could protect himself from those inside. Because how do you beat a cover 0? How do you beat a cover 1 blitz? You got to run inside rounds. You got to run slants. You got to run, anything quick that inside so the quarterback can get rid of the ball. If you have corners who are capable of playing man on man, which we're a little bit sus about Bradbury, but still, I bet Bradbury could do a little bit better job than a safety can. I think that's what Wink would want to go, is have more corners on the field than instead of having that 3 safety look. I think that 3 safety look is good for first down and second down when you have like a run formation type of thing going on and you want to match up maybe a safety on a tight end. Maybe.
And I'll just say this real quick, and then let Mace go and finish it off for us. But I think another thing, I was listening to our buddies at Giant Zone, GM, banker, and closer. Shout out you guys. I was listening to their pod earlier today. I'll be on that tomorrow. But I was listening to them earlier, and they were saying that we wanted this. We wanted carte blanche. We didn't want Mara to just have some dude have his hand up some dude's ass and puppet them, right? We wanted
hard decisions we're gonna make.
Actual dude who's gonna make his decisions. Like this for sure tells me, if the hiring of the head coach wasn't a question, if who they cut, who they restructured, all this stuff was still questions. Ain't no questions now. This is Shane's team for sure.
Right. Let's go ahead and go to Tyrod Taylor. Mace, what's your opinion on Tyrod Taylor, man? Did they bring him in here to start or nah? Do you want to see him start?
To answer your questions, I don't think he was brought here to start.
Okay.
Do I want him to start? No.
Okay.
That's all because I want to see what Daniel Jones is. I'm pretty sure we're going to get to that, so I'm not going to go, too deep into that. But what I think about Tyrod is, you got two Tyrod. You got the with the Bills. Pro Bowl Tyrod, who
led them to the playoffs
in a long time.
Right.
First time in our lifetime.
Kind of a game manager, you know what I mean? Doesn't do much wrong. And he's been injured a lot, you know what I mean? So it's just interesting. I do think he can really challenge for that job, though. I think that's something serious, and I do think he can be QB1. I don't think he's QB1 right now, though. And I like the signing. It's a great insurance plan, and
absolutely.
I think he's forward. You know what I mean? He can be the QB for next year, if we draft our guy, and he's a project guy.
Okay. Right. Okay. I'm not even thinking about 2 years ahead. I'm thinking about just this season coming up. Manny, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, I tend to agree as well. Like, after the nonsense we saw last year with Jake from State Farm and Mike, two tall neck Glennon, like that was tough. And I think that this showed the Giants, like, I would say for majority of for all of our lifetime, Eli Manning has been our quarterback, right?
Right.
Like, as far as I've been a Giants fan, he's been my quarterback. I didn't even know who backup quarterbacks were back when Eli was starting. I didn't know who the backup was. So it didn't really matter. But Daniel Jones has been out. Mm-hmm. So I think it's like Mace said, his insurance policy. It's as long as, like, we want to see what Daniel Jones is, or whoever we draft, just whatever. But we want to see who that quarterback is. But also too, we don't want to put them out there in a situation where they're not ready, or we know who they are by midweek and we're okay. This is it. So if Tyrod Taylor, if nothing else, he's that insurance policy, and nothing else, hey, he's the backup next year if DJ balls and gets that contract extension or the franchise tag, or he's the guy helping the QB that gets drafted, brought in. So
guys, go ahead. Go ahead.
And I think Tyrod is probably one of the best backups in the league that you can have.
Very good point. Very good point.
I also speaks on there's a percentage of fans, I don't know, that wanted to blow everything up, tank out the season. I think that Tyrod signing shows you that they want to compete. If Jones is off the field, they want to have structure and they want to go out there and win games. You know what I mean? You don't sign the best backup in the league to not win. You know what I mean? To not be prepared. So
I know on that, just want to touch base. Yo, the NFC is wide open. They just moved another big time quarterback to the AFC. So it's like, okay, so who's going to get these playoff spots, guys? I mean, why can't it be us? So that's absolutely true. That's a good point.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Exactly.
Did you want to say anything else regarding to Tyra?
I mean, thank God we got him.
Yeah.
I don't even think we were going to be able to draft him or sign him, So
I agree. I didn't think so either.
And he could have gone to other teams that needed a backup, and he chose to come to the Giants. He had his choice. He wasn't just stuck in one spot.
So yesterday, I was bored, and I decided to just look at one game from Tyrod. Looked up his stats, looked to see which one was the best game. There's two games that are kind of complicated there. Tyrod didn't have more than 2 touchdowns in a game. He had a game where it was 2 touchdowns rushing the ball, and then he had 2 touchdowns throwing the ball. So that was pretty much it. Jones' best game is either, a lot of people were saying on Twitter, it was a Saints game with 400 yards. And I believe it was 1 touchdown in that game, or 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns in that game.
2 touchdowns, 1 pick.
So
and the pick was a Hail Mary throw.
Right. It was at the end of the half, and it was a Hail Mary. So it's not really much into that. From what I saw from both quarterbacks, and you guys can let me know what you guys think afterwards. I think if you want to win right now, you would have to put Tyrod Taylor into play, because Tyrod Taylor knows how to call his own protections. We didn't see Daniel Jones call protections not once last year during the season. I can't even remember. I'm sure that he did, though. I don't want to knock Jones. I can't remember Jones even identifying the mic, but I'm pretty sure he did. I'm not going to hold him to it. Tyrod Taylor knows how to cause protections. In every single play that I saw him in that one game, it was Tennessee against Houston. He called Mike out in every single play. His pocket presence is there. Daniel Jones, my number one problem with Daniel Jones is he doesn't have a pocket presence, so it's not enough. And if Daniel Jones decides to bail out from the pocket, he bails out towards either he backpedals and tries to throw his back foot, or he tries to run towards his arm side. He never tries to run up opposing side. So he'll always run to his right. He'll never bail out to his left. And what I just saw on the tape is we still don't know. Obviously, there's still an unknown part about Daniel Jones because Daniel Jones has an arm. Daniel Jones has leg. His arm is better than Tyrod Taylor's right now. But again, it's just... Right. But that's what we just don't know. The story is incomplete right now with Daniel Jones. We already know what we're getting from Tyrod. So if that alone is enticing enough to say, yo, we still don't know what we have with Jones, let's give him a shot, cool. But if we're really about this competing and we want to win right now, I think Tyrod Taylor is the guy that we need to go with. So it's a little bit, I'm torn apart. I'm like, yo, do I want to see what Jones has? Because I do want to see him. I think the scheme is going to help him just crazy look a lot better. I was looking at the Giants in goal line formation. This is very familiar. When you're playing in the NFL,
that video and you were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but a lot of it is not even his fault. Like, yo, Jason Garrett had trips right. He had trips right separated on the inside the red zone, inside the 10. Like, yo, bring those guys, bunch them up, and do man-beating plays so that Daniel just can have somebody open. Nobody freaking open. He has to throw these throws contested every time. So tight windows. And I'll be honest, he doesn't have the throw it up and catch it ball yet. I haven't seen that from him yet. So there's just so many incompletes.
Like Jason Garrett's play calling and his scheme works if everything is perfect, or if you have like the best O-line in football, like the Cowboys. It
worked in Dallas, but it was
Tony
because they had a
Romo
whole bunch
Witten
of talent out
Tavon
there.
Austin and all these other fools. And if it's like 10 years before 2022, if it's 2002, it's a perfect scheme.
So guys, I'm confused right now. I'm just like, yo, do I want Tyrod and do I want to try to win now, or do I want to see what Jones has and possibly not win? I don't know, man. It's just crazy.
I'll just go off real quick, and I'll just say that I think you just let them, like I told you last week, bro. I just want the best quarterback to play. It could be you, it could be me, Jones, Tyrod, fucking Kadarius Toney can sling that bitch, whoever. It doesn't matter. I just want the best quarterback. So I just say let them go into however it happens.
Don't play favoritism.
Don't UDFA, another camp body. Let those dudes and let them go. Whoever wins. And if you're worried, like, man, Daniel Jones doesn't look as good as Tyrod, that should be your answer right now at that moment for Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm. Mace?
I understand where you guys are coming from, but I feel like as Giants fans, we're very hungry for wins. Mm-hmm. But I think in the back of our minds, we have this is a long term, right? It's about tomorrow. Right. It's about next year. You still want to compete, but at best, if you want Tyrod to go out there, he's not our franchise guy.
He's not.
Right. Not here for. You know what I mean? So
is Daniel Jones our franchise guy though?
That's why that's why my argument would be you go out there and see what the hell he is. You play just to see what he is. When you look at history, no, he hasn't shown enough to be the franchise guy.
Right.
But he plays a part into it, I like to say. And his situation is a part into it. So everything's an upgrade. The O-line should be better. Like you said, the offensive scheme is better. You hit on Jones really well. I think Dan Olarski kind of said it, and just get him out of the pre-snap. Get him in the post-snap. Give him progressions. Let him choose. Give him deep routes, immediate routes. You know what I mean?
Make the game more simple for him.
What you're saying is let DJ cook.
Literally, let DJ cook. Let him go out there and give you what he. The kid is accurate.
Yeah. My fault, guys.
Yeah, he has the size. It's time to put it together for Jones. And this it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So he's got to stack his performances.
Yeah,
that's one of my.
Absolutely, he has to be consistent, and he has to stay healthy, man. That I want to see him play 16 games. That's another thing too. One thing that I would say about Jones is, man, when his mechanics are right, his paws look amazing. Like his throws are, I saw over and over in that Saints game, there was play action happening. And because the Saints didn't know whether it's a run or a pass, they weren't getting the pass rush that normally you would get against a bad Giants offensive line. And Jones would fake the handoff, set his feet, let it go. It was fucking beautiful, son. This guy, when he has time, when he has his feet set on the ground, I'd say, he's one of the best in the league throwing the rock. You know what I'm saying?
That was the thing with him. He was the David Cutcliffe tree, clean mechanics, good on, and we see it.
Yeah, It's sound.
Yeah, I seen those clips you posted, and I was like,
yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. Again,
can we keep him
clean? Can we keep him clean though?
Be consistent, and that's the thing. Last year, and we can leave it at this. That's the thing last year. We didn't know because he had those 4 stretches of the game and games, the first 4 games where he looked good and people were excited about him, especially going into that Cowboys game. Yeah. But as soon as Andrew Thomas didn't play, wasn't healthy, and as soon as Daniel Jones got that one nick on the goal line when Kyle Rudolph, who's not on his team anymore, forgot his block.
Now everything.
And there you go. That was the issue. So I'm glad Kyle Rudolph's not on his team anymore. I'm glad. That was disgusting.
You two guys feel the exact same way about that. It's so funny,
Bro, you don't do that to your teammates, bro. He pushes.
Yeah, how those dudes are fighting, and he goes back and looks, and then walks back.
He looks like.
It's not even about a certain. It's just about that's Feliciano.
Right.
He ain't doing that.
No.
If anything, Feliciano's looking for that.
Right. I feel bad for whoever's gonna late hit our quarterback, whoever's our starting quarterback this year, because Feliciano's gonna rock them. Most likely gonna decleat them. Speaking of quarterbacks, now we're gonna talk about Malik Willis. It's been the hottest topic on Twitter, and it's either, I'll tell you too much. Either he wowed you, or I don't care. It was the underwear Olympics, and everybody looks good in their pro day, which is both are right. Both are right.
Is scheme for you to look good.
Right. Yeah. Who wants to start this one?
Can I go?
Go ahead.
Peace.
So, you guys know, man. I've been on the Malik Willis train for a long time now. December, November, when it was a joke to even mock him in the first round.
Yeah.
Malik, what it is for me, it's the upside, right? And you can't take away his arm talent. You know what I mean? That you seen the kid throw it from literally off platform, running weak side from the 35 to the end zone. And like you said, it's underwears. Everybody can't do that. You know what I mean? The kid is special. He's raw, right? But a lot of his issues are fixable. You know what I mean? And scouts and GMs, that's what they like. This is what they look for. The stuff you can't teach, he has. You know what I mean? The athleticism, the off-platform throws, the arm strength, and if he can put it all together, you hit. With the Giants, I would like to see it, but I just don't think they're going to start that clock, and I don't think you'll pay your QB3. What is Tyrod getting? $7 million almost.
This year his cap hit isn't as much. The cap really keeps it next year for him.
And we'll have a whole bunch of money.
And right now, Tyrod Taylor's cap hit right now is $2.7 million.
Right, which is nothing. Yeah.
Oh, so a bunch of incentives.
It's a whole bunch. Exactly, it's a whole bunch of incentives probably that going on for this year.
Yeah, it's really next year's when I'm
kind of at 3 though. You know what I mean?
Right. You still don't think it would be a smart move to bring in somebody like Malik Willis right now?
If you can,
look at Manny.
if you can get him to work, bring him in. But and Malik Willis about 2022. A lot of fans get that confused. He's about 2023,
right?
And moving. You know what I mean? The QB position is the hardest position to identify. So
I think we're all in agreements that we absolutely don't expect the Giants to draft them, but if they were to draft them, we would be on the train.
Exactly.
Manny, go ahead. What you thought about that pro day, bro?
I mean that pro day. I was listening to Undisputed this morning in the DMV. Make an appointment when you go to the DMV, by the way, because that's a bitch. They pretty much had this, like, they pretty much were kind of not necessarily dogging him, but they pretty much were saying, like, this guy is being, like, you know, this happens every year. We overhype a dude because of the combine and this and that. We want to watch the tape. How does he look in games? You know, the Auburn game, the Ole Miss game that he played, he didn't look great. Yeah, you're playing bad competition, but when you step up, how do you look against that better competition? He didn't look great. I mean, all these things, but, like, at the same time as well, like, I'll go ahead and defend Malik Willis. Right. Everyone didn't know Josh Allen was Josh Allen until they drafted him and let that man, you know, sit, cultivate, and go from there. Right. Same with Patrick Mahomes. You know, as good as John Elway was as a quarterback prospect in college, he came from a shitty team. Like, they didn't win in wherever I don't even know who he went to school at. They didn't win where he went to school. And when he was in college, so that whole thing about college, like, you're not drafting, like you said, Mace, you're not drafting a dude for this year or how he looked in college. You're drafting him for what he can be. I think Malik Willis has those traits. You know, he's got the arm that you can't teach. You can't teach that type of whip, like a whistle, like a, you know, you can't teach that. He has the speed. He has the legs. He has the athleticism. You know, this was a dude who got recruited to Auburn. So it wasn't like he went to Liberty. That was one of his only options. He got recruited to an SEC school to be a quarterback. You could say, oh, he didn't get a chance to beat, you know, oh, he didn't beat out, what's his name? He didn't beat out Bo Nix. What's the problem there? He's not that good. Well, Davis Webb beat out Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield. So what does that matter? I kind of tend to agree. I don't think he's going to be drafted by the Giants. And if I was the GM for the Giants, maybe I wouldn't draft him because I kind of tend to believe, like, let's build this team up and then let's get the team ready for a QB if we do have to get a new one. But if they do draft him, I'm hyped I'm hyped, and I think that I would love to move because then that means that they're ready to put their jobs on the line with this kid. They're not just going to do that without doing their due diligence. And Joe Shane went to a few of his games last year, so Shane has been able to see him.
Okay.
Shane Tierney, the quarterback coach for the Giants now, he was there at the pro day as well. So I don't think. I think there's a possibility, but I tend to kind of agree with you guys, but I would be hyped if he got drafted because then that means that there's a big change. And when you mentioned, do we want our third QB making that much money? I think if we drafted Malik Willis, we can let Daniel Jones go. He's going to give you $7 million back in cap.
Right away.
And remember, Josh Rosen, he was traded to a team.
You trade Daniel Jones right away?
Hot take, trade DJ and let Tyrod play.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say this before.
They said they did the same thing they did the same thing with Josh Rosen, and he had a worse QB. He had a worse start to his career than Daniel Jones, and he even got to a second. So yeah, I'm not saying you can get a second with DJ, but maybe a fourth, a fifth,
right?
A backup fucking punter or whatever.
So here's what I'm gonna say in terms of what you said. Like, we gotta build the team first before we get the quarterback. If we hit on the quarterback now, though, the transition and the rebuild shortens up. We're already next year. We're already competing for the division and we're competing for other things. If we miss on the quarterback, we get even extended longer on that rebuild. We might be stuck on where we are right now in limbo. So that's that. I'm gonna read you guys something real quick, and you guys gonna tell me, does that remind you of Malik Willis right now? And then I'll tell you who the hell this scouting report was for. Has accuracy issues. This is the weakness first. Has accuracy issues. Ball security. Decision making needs to improve. Throws too many interceptions. Needs to improve the ability to throw finesse throws. Struggled against better teams. Played at low-level competition. Concerns about production and ability to be a clutch performer. Strengths. Great skill set. Ideal size for a quarterback. Strong arm. Good athlete. Excellent mobility. Running threat. Keep his eye down the field as he scrambles. Hard to sack. Amazing strength for the tackles in the pocket. Amazing strength to break tackles in the pocket. Can stretch the field vertically with his arm. Throws a good spiral. Has a quick release. Throws well on the run. Can throw wide receivers open. Has worked under center some. Who is that? Doesn't that sound like Malik? And that's Josh Allen. Allen.
I was like, Malik, breaking tackles, baby. Y'all know what's going on.
Son.
Y'all know what's going on.
Yeah, and I mean, shoot, it's the Shakedown team. It's shout out the Shakedown show, Shakedown Sports, how they break that shit down. I love that show. They were talking about it as well too. Like you guys have all, like Big Blue Stan, all you guys on Twitter have really made. Like I was thinking, then you would have to bring Jesus down here to convince me of a quarterback. And now you guys have convinced me the only dude worth drafting, not Pickett, not Carroll or whoever, not Golden Corral, not any of those fools. It's Malik.
It's Malik.
Malik.
Because if you get, man, game changing.
I don't want to put my hopes up, but it's just like, why not?
Next year's a deep class.
And hopefully, yeah. I mean, listen, my biggest worry is that we're gonna have to trade we have to give up a whole bunch of firsts to move in there, because I don't think we're gonna be bottom 10. I don't think we're gonna.
Bro, does that matter?
That doesn't. It
doesn't. I don't care. Listen, if you trade a bunch of,
it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. If we bring in a quarterback and we have to trade a bunch of first round picks, but that quarterback's proven,
so be it.
Don't care. Nah. Give him everything. Give him all that shit. Let them stay in John Mara's house for the season. Do what you got to do to get your guy if you think he's the guy.
I agree with that 110% with that. Guys, let's talk about real quick signings in the Giants. It's nothing splashy. Obviously, all these crazy things are happening right now in the outside of the Giants. We have all these big signings, big contracts. We have guys like Jihad Ward, Matt Breida, Justin Ellis, Jamil Douglas, Ricky Seals-Jones, Feliciano, like we mentioned before. Do you guys, I'm going to ask you guys right now, do you guys think that this team is better right now? Without even thinking about the draft picks yet, is this team better right now than it was last year? Whichever one of you guys want to start it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, just because there's still big holes on the offensive line. Mm-hmm. As much as I love our boy Feliciano and our boy, when you got that Glow Winsky, as much as I like those dudes and I like what they're going to do for our offensive line and that stability, those guys aren't changing your offensive line completely. You still got to get a left guard. You still got to go and get a right tackle. We don't even have a fullback. We have one tight end. Our wide receivers right now, I mean, there's still question marks around. I love Kadarius Toney because I'm a warrior. I love him. I don't, but there's still a question mark on, is he healthy right now? What's he doing? I'm assuming he's healthy and ready to go, and I'm assuming that he's going to ball, but, still questions there. KG, what's he going to do? The defense, they don't get better with losing Logan Ryan. Granted, they did replace Austin Johnson with our boy Jelly, who's on the squad from Baltimore. So they did replace him with a stopgap and a decent player, but there's still question marks. The edge room still looks like dog shit. Right. The middle linebacker room, Blake Martinez is not going to be healthy starting the season. He's probably going to be on PUP and then from there start in before the season starts. So there's still question marks, but
that means we got to deal with Tate Crowder. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, I think there's still question marks, but I think they still. I mean, it's early, and if you can.
Right.
It's early, and you could still go in and get boys on the team. And if you end up drafting well and guys we like, which we're going to get into, I think we'll be straight.
Mace, go ahead.
I think you can't look at it until September, right? Like, you can't make that judgment. Like you said, we still draft OTAs, so much.
Ashton 105, thank you so much for the follow, man. He just said, "What's going on with y'all, man?" We just here. We're talking about the Giants right now.
Oh boy.
And we're saying if the Giants are better right now than they were last year, and Mace was about to break that down a little bit.
Yeah, you can't compare it till September. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Till preseason, so or week one. You know?
That makes sense. That makes sense, 100%. I might have jumped the gun a little bit on that. Do you guys? What about? Do you guys? Is there any of the? Obviously we're shopping from the low ball side of the. We're shopping in. I don't 99-cent store. Think about it like that. Anybody that you guys liked that is like, yo, I think we should expect bigger things from XYZ instead of just like, oh, this person is, yeah,
Glow. I think Glow.
Glowinski.
I think he's just gonna be solid. Nothing great, but we have not seen that. We have nobody on this O line was just dependable. Besides Thomas, who was above, but just a functional player.
Mm-hmm.
It's
we didn't have functional. We had mediocre. So, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
If we could get average from the whole line, and then play exceptional from Thomas, we might have 10 more points per game added.
And I think that's what they're hitting at with these signings. They're not looking for big time guys. I think they're going to try to go get their right tackle, try to have their two tackles as those, above average, maybe elite guys, and just fill them in with some average dudes, who are not going to ruin a game for you.
Right.
Single-handedly, Will Hernandez, Billy Price, and the crew.
Nah,
I like Feliciano a little bit.
The way that he's come out and just like, yo, I really want, like, he is so eager to prove the league wrong. But that's the kind of attitude that I want on this team more to have. We speak about this almost in every episode, Manny. That is, we need guys with swag to come to the Giants. We have too many good schoolboys in the Giants right now, and I'm over that, man. And
bro, I say it. We don't need no DOGs. We need some DA double Gs. We need some actual fucking dogs. We need some guys that are not gonna walk away from a fight.
Yeah.
But are gonna start the fight. That are gonna finish it. That's what we want. And I mean, I'll say the guy I'm most excited for, Feliciano. That signing to me, I kind of saw that could be a possibility. I was on the Hubs page with Kush. Shout out Kush. I was on his page and I was talking to him about it, and I thought that was a real possibility. It could happen.
Yep.
But also there was a part of me that was like, well, he can go somewhere and start on a good team and be a guard there. Like if you look at the Chiefs team, yeah, they got Trey Smith, but the other guard is not. He can be replaced by a Feliciano. There's teams out there that can use a Feliciano that are playoff contenders. The fact that he came here, the fact that he fucks with Dabes and Johnson that much, that he's willing to take a lower contract, that's a bunch of incentives to play. Granted, yeah, because he wants to play center. That's fine. But I think it's a lot more about he wants to prove that he can play center, and he wants to prove that I can take what was looked at as the weakest unit in football and turn them into a strength. Like I said it, him and Glow are adding stability to the O-line so that when you draft your right tackle, you're not going to be like, damn, that right tackle is going to be able to play next to a solid starter. You same with your left guard. And then, hey, a lot of people aren't down with Tyler Linderbaum. So if Tyler Linderbaum or a safety you really like in this draft is there, and bet you get that safety, you put Feliciano at guard. Yes, I said all this stuff, but I think at the end of the day, if you can just get the 5 best offensive linemen on the team, that's the most important. And I think Feliciano helps you with that, and so does Glowinski because they both played on both sides. So I love the Feliciano signing, and I think that was exactly what the Giants needed for both of those guys: stability, stable professionals.
Yeah, I'm agree with both of you guys, and I'm gonna take both of you guys. I'm gonna take the cheap way out, and I'm gonna say that I'm the most excited 2 guys that I am is Feliciano and Glowinski, and because that's the most important thing, at least in the offensive side of the ball. I don't really think, me personally speaking, that we've dropped off that much on defense. But again, the draft still hasn't happened. I think that Love could fill the shoes of Logan Ryan as far as that. We still haven't lost Bradbury, even though it's almost the writing is on the wall. We're probably gonna have to get rid of him.
Song, bro.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to get rid of him. Unfortunately for me, but it is
that Wiz song.
Manny, Before we wrap it up, man, we're gonna talk about real quick some draft prospects, man. Why don't you lead us off with that right there?
So there's just three guys I just want to talk about. Two guys that we're going to kind of compare, and then the third guy is just a dude who's just been on our timelines a lot. So we'll start with that dude, Charles Cross, tackle from Mississippi. I feel like a lot of Giants fans didn't want this man to begin with because of the obvious, the obvious right tackle to left tackle situation. Do you want to put your guy at left tackle or right tackle? People weren't down to trade to switch Andrew Thomas to the right side for this man. And also a lot of things, like you heard his run, like he was a real, like out of all the tackles, he's probably the best when it comes to, when it comes to blocking, when it comes to pass blocking. But, as far as run blocking, he's not there.
Right.
You've seen I watched a little bit of his tape, and not the highlights, but the actual all 22. Shout out Caddy cut ups. If you need to watch the all 22, look up Caddy cut ups on Patreon. My man has all the tapes you need. And I was able to watch Alabama 2021 versus Cross. There were moments where you see he's definitely the third best tackle. You could see his best strength is, that athletic, plays where he has to be that tackle on an island, or he has to be that tackle, that's washing the dude off and is letting the quarterback move up in the pocket. Like, he has those traits. Not the best run blocking in that game specifically, but when it came to screens, he didn't seem like he was athletic when coming out in screens and stuff. But overall, as a player, I mean, he's solid. We already mentioned before, Bobby Johnson, the O-line coach, was there at his pro day really coaching him up. And, I heard this on a Spaces with Mace earlier this evening. It looks like they like him. It looks like they like him a lot. And he's a dude who's been training on the right side. I think if he can't go to the right side anyways, why are you drafting him 5th overall? What the hell are we doing? What I will tell people, would we be excited with Cross? The only thing that I could say about it, I probably wouldn't be as excited, obviously, if we don't get the other guys or an edge rusher. But I'll say this, a lot of people thought we drafted the worst tackle in the first round in 2020 with Andrew Thomas. And look who he turned out to be. I think if we do draft a dude like Cross, that's still taking care of a need without having to overextend, because Cross is a top 10 player. He is a top 10 player. You're not drafting the 50th best player at 6 or 5 overall. So I think it's definitely going to be interesting. Want to watch more tape of him for sure, but
yeah, I got nothing on him. I got nothing on him right now because I haven't even watched
no tape, so
I won't say that.
He'll be 21 when the season starts. He's super young.
That is pretty young. Mace, you got anything on Cross that you want to add on to that?
Yeah. So I listen to Brandon Thorne, Dane Bugler, those type of guys, Duke. I watch little clips, little highlights. I think I tweeted it earlier. I think he might be the first tackle to just break that air raid Mike Leach stigma. His tackles don't. I see it. I can see it. You know what I mean? He just wins. It's not the most beautiful technique wise. He's not, just
he's not easy on the ground.
He's just winning. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I don't know how O-linemen look at that. Like, oh, if we can coach him up, then he can be this. But in the run game, I think I've seen some screens, like you said. It was like, oh, it's a little better than I thought. And something to throw out there. He originally was recruited to be in a very heavy run scheme. He wasn't recruited or known as like the typical Mike Leach, just
that's crazy.
Guy. So it's interesting. I think Cross is. I think he's a trade back option, right? I think they're just being
so with their. I'm just gonna ask you guys, where would you be comfortable taking Cross? Mace, I'll go with you since you're already touching the topic on that.
I'm not gonna be the maddest at 7, but a money spot for me to give you like gun to my head.
Yeah.
If trade down to like 9, 10, whoever's there, totally fine. Like with him.
Manny, are you okay with taking him 5 or 7, or would you want to move down?
The only way I would be okay with taking him 5 is if like if those 4 top dudes we want are gone. Then that's like okay.
Kayvon,
Yeah,
Hutch, Neal, and Equano. If they're all
yeah.
gone.
If then I can see why I probably wouldn't still be happy. My ideal situation is that we get a trade back like from the eighth or the ninth spot, which maybe more likely it might be the Falcons because or if it was a situation where like we get Kayvon at 5, I'm definitely cool with we're getting Cross at 7. I'm okay with that.
Right.
So,
It's gonna be
I'd be
interesting,
happy.
man. This draft is gonna be amazing because
Oh.
there's so many different ways that you could go in this. It's just driving me crazy. I want the draft to be tomorrow already because I'm just like, what? There's so many things in that first 2 picks.
Facts. I think we're gonna win this draft, man. I think it's gonna be a good draft.
Manny, tell me the guy that we're looking at right now.
So this is me just comparing these 2 dudes.
Mhm.
Obviously, there was a bunch of rumblings a few weeks back when Daniel Jeremiah moved the sticks.
Talked about
Had
Trayvon
us
Walker.
taking Trayvon Walker and then Drake London 5 and 7 overall. Like I immediately, like I don't think a good thing I wasn't at work that day because I would have cussed real loud in public that you don't want that, we don't want that, and I don't know why they did that. So then but then obviously you see the combine he has and everyone losing their shit over it. I'm like, okay.
He did the same thing.
Me and
Same thing. Nobody knew who Becton was, if you guys remember. He mocked him, I think, to us. And everybody's like, what? Who the fuck is Becton? And then
Makai Becton. Yeah.
and then you see them friggin' Macy's Day float running a 5.40.
yeah, then Jeremiah brought the attention to Becton, bro. Like nobody knew who he was.
Yeah. So then I remember a few weeks back, me and Antonio we're doing just a screen share, and we were watching Jermaine Johnson tape and Trayvon Walker tape because Jermaine Johnson is a player I would like more. That's what I thought before I watched the tape. But when you see both guys, like Trayvon Walker, he'd be a solid D lineman. He'd be a good D lineman, a guy who can rush against inside against guards, can play on the outside, has those athletic traits that he's going to be able to defend the run well, and he's going to be able to put pressure. Whereas Jermaine Johnson is just an edge rusher. Yeah. He's just at the edge. He's just going after the quarterback. I mean, after against the tackle. He's killing tight ends. He's playing the run. He has some moments where he's in zone in coverage plays, but for the most part, he's going after the quarterback. And you see that game against Equanu last year, NC State versus Florida State. I mean, he murked Equanu. Equanu had some of his moments, but he murked Equanu, and he won that game. And other games he had. And then it's funny because both these guys kind of are similar when it comes to the stats. Like Walker didn't have the best stats. Jermaine Johnson didn't have the best stats until Jermaine Johnson left and went to Florida State and became that shining light on the Florida State team that sucked. Mm-hmm. So for me personally, if there's a situation where we get our tackle, I don't want to draft Trayvon or Jermaine Johnson at 5 overall. But if we get our tackle at 5 overall, and then we're either trading back or we're at 7, and we get a chance to go at one of those guys, I want Jermaine Johnson, put him alongside Azeez Ojulari, and let the Georgia boys go. Because I think that would help. I think that helps us a lot more. Like, I think Trayvon Walker, you're just adding another Dexter Lawrence, another Leonard Williams.
Wow.
I would rather have a guy who's going to be an edge rusher. Okay. That's who I want. I want a guy who's going to go after the tackles, not who's going to be slipped inside.
Mace, do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You can go ahead, brother.
Okay. All right, so Manny introduced me to Trayvon Walker after the hype that was going on, and we started watching film on him. To me, honestly, they played Trayvon Walker completely different than Jermaine Johnson. And we did see how Jermaine Johnson played that position that Trayvon Walker played in Georgia when he was in Georgia. And it's also a really weird, dude, it was like they had the guy lined up right on top of the tackle. It was just like the weirdest thing to see. I like what I saw from Trayvon Walker in his tape, his raw strength, his power. It was very, very, very disruptive. But there's also a lot of rawness to him where he is not polished at all. Everything was bull rush, bull rush. But that has me thinking like, yo, he's fast enough because we saw the combine numbers, his 3-cone, his 40. So I didn't see his like hula hoop drill to see if he was nasty in that too. So I don't know if you guys saw that and he did good on that. But
he killed it. He killed the combine. He killed it.
So my thinking is like, yo, somebody could grab this guy like a Wink Martindale and turn this guy into a superstar and not have him play defensive end on a 3-4, but have him play outside linebacker exclusively on the 3-4. And not too many guys in the NFL are just especially outside linebackers are just rushing tackles and destroying tackles. Everybody's just blowing around the tackles because they're faster than tackles, especially on a 3-4. So that's the intrigue with that guy. But then when I see Jermaine Johnson, yo, this he's on 100,000.
Bitch, I got it out the muscle.
And Peter, what's going on? Thank you for coming through.
Shout out to my boy Peter.
Jermaine is just, yo, he is on the JJ Watt type of motor where, yo, the plays on the other side of the field, he's going to the other side of the field until that whistle is over. He's not moving out of there, man. Like he is always on 100,000. So I love that about him too. To be honest, I wouldn't mind any of those guys. I just would mind them if they're picked at 7. I need to get them at trade down. I can't have them at 7 for some reason. Mace, what's good with you? What's your take on those guys?
Yo, y'all both hit it on the nail. I like what you said, bro. For me, I think Trayvon Walker is the guy for me because I think he has the higher ceiling.
Let's go!
Trayvon and Ojabo, those two in 3 years, those guys are the best pass rushers. I wouldn't be surprised because, like you were saying, once he learns how to use those hands and together, I don't know what the ceiling is for him. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Love Jermaine, but it's he can be used. Trayvon Walker can be used in multiple ways, and I think Wink likes that. If you look at his previous history with some of his guys, Fernell McPhee, Justin Houston, Judon was a tweener.
Elvis Dumerville.
Wink had Dumerville at one point? Okay.
Yeah.
They're homies, bro. They're like this.
Got it.
Dumerville said a lot of his development was from Wink.
God, I didn't know that. I didn't remember that. I didn't remember that.
Yeah. Who knows what Walker, man? I was big on Walker. I was on Walker right a little before, Daniel Jeremiah said it, and Dane Bugler had said it one time, like, Trayvon Walker is a top 10 prospect that nobody knows about. And from that instant, I started looking and I loved him. So I'll be happy with either edge. Kayvon.
Yo, now I'm okay with him coming at 7. Now I'm okay with picking Trayvon Walker at 7, yo. Just because you confirmed exactly how I feel about it. I know, Manny. I know you wouldn't pick him at 7.
I just don't want us to get overhyped over, like, I get you because you guys haven't been hyped over him with the combine. You just let the combine speak for itself and want to go watch the tape. I get that. I would just really be like, man, it just depends. If there's a situation where there's guys off the board and he's the dude, okay. But if there's like a Kayvon, like they had Kayvon Thibodeau going 9 in the mock draft that we got Trayvon Walker. The fact that we're not even gonna get if we draft Trayvon Walker over him, even over Sauce,
you're gonna be mad.
That's foolery.
You're gonna be mad.
No, bro. If we draft him over Kayvon, over Sauce, over Icky,
you're gonna
like honestly, I would take Cross over him because I think Cross feels more of a need and is a better player than Trayvon Walker.
And here's what I'll say to that too. I'll add to this. Trayvon could come in next season. Sal, what's going on, baby? Thank you for coming through.
My boy
Sal, yes, Sal. Yo, Peter, Sal, thank you everybody coming through right now. I'll say this. There is a chance that if we do draft Walker, Peter likes Walker too. He's saying he should be our 7th round pick. I mean, our seventh pick.
There it is.
There's a chance that Walker comes in next season and he might not live up to the hype, and people are just gonna bash him and say, "You see, I told you he sucked. I told you he was gonna be bad." But the problem is just like what Mace is saying. This guy is a development project that, yeah, maybe in 2023 he's the best edge in the whole league, and that's what I don't want to miss out on. Manny doesn't like that.
Remember that?
And I wouldn't be surprised neither if he comes in 2022 and he kills it.
He's nasty in the run game, bro. Just nasty.
There was a one play where you saw him cover ground real quick in the run game, and he had suddenness to him.
Yeah.
Oh no, right. Oh, so there's So what Peter is saying is that there's 6 other guys that he would pick before Walker. So Walker is our 7th choice. Okay, I got you. I feel that.
Yeah,
but that's exactly where
if he's as much as I just sit there like, what the fuck? If we get like a Sauce Gardner at 5 and a Walker at 7 because we missed out on those guys we want, fuck it. Hey, listen, it's carte blanche, and we got to go ahead and we may not like what we got to do, but we can't just sit here and pretend we can't sit here and I know, baby, I know we can't sit here and
we gotta give these guys a chance.
We can't sit here and ask for a 5-course meal to be made in fucking microwavable time.
Right.
We gotta let this shit cook.
Right.
And what Shane and Dable have right now is their little honeymoon phase. So all these signings that they're doing, it's like, okay, we
can't really complain because we just don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't seen their sauce. We just haven't. Anybody else that you wanted to touch base on, Manny, before we wrap it up?
No, we're gonna go right into it. I mean, I think Cross is in play. I think you got. Well, I guess Walker is in play. Jermaine Johnson is in play. You know, we got a lot. Like it's so cool. Again, guys, if y'all love watching all 22 caddy cut ups on Patreon,
amazing.
Honestly, for me. Being able to watch that tape and watch these dudes, like all these guys can come in and be those game changers that we weren't expecting when we drafted them, or be those guys we're expecting to draft. Like it gets me so excited.
Yeah, his cut-ups are better than the NFL cut-ups. Yeah, it's crazy.
This was the best draft for us to finally change shit because now we finally we got it. We got 2 top 10 picks, top 7 overall, top 5 overall. Like. We should walk out with dogs on draft night 1.
All right, and let's go ahead with final thoughts. Just give me your final thoughts, Manny. Anything you want to say, last notes, anything that you want people to, anything, brother. Go ahead.
Hey, we appreciate everyone that has been fucking with us, that has let us cook, that has let us come on to your shows, that will support us on your shows, Giant Zone, you know, Kush, Hub,
everybody.
Ash. Man, we appreciate everybody for showing us love and supporting us. Sal, Peter, thank you guys, and that's what fires us up and gets us hyped every day. So if you can, please.
Jordan Davis at 5 and Devontae Wyatt at 7. What's that all about?
Sounds real.
That's the part where I'm out. But yeah, we appreciate the love. We appreciate all the support. Follow on Twitter.
Get him in drafting. That's hilarious.
Follow Manny Madrigal 58 on Twitter. Follow Breaking Tackles on YouTube, on Spotify, on Twitch, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We appreciate it.
Mace, say your piece, brother.
I wanted to touch on the Cal Hamilton a little bit.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, let's go. Yeah.
He's in play. You know what I mean? He's in play.
You would be okay with the Giants taking a safety at 7, let's just say, for example, because you wouldn't take him at 5.
So at 7, I feel like we have to.
You would take. Yes.
But in the trade back, I think he's in play in the trade back.
In the trade back, absolutely. Why not? He is like one of the best players in the draft, so according to what everybody's saying.
Well, here's the thing too. He's favored right now. He's favored to go 2 overall by Vegas.
What?
Yeah, right now, and I'm reading this off of SB Nation. Says right now that this man is according to DraftKings Sportsbook, Kyle Hamilton is the odds-on favorite to go number 2 overall.
Yo, Sal said sorry. Gettleman took my phone. He's a war criminal. This is stupid. Yeah, no, dude, that's crazy. So they got Hutchinson as a 1 overall, right? I'm guessing, right?
Well, here are the odds. You got Kyle Hamilton at 300 at plus 300, Aiden Hutchinson plus 400, Malik Willis plus 400, Trayvon Walker plus
so they got
400.
Hamilton. Hold on. They got Hamilton at 300, but Hutchinson at 400. So Hamilton.
Willis at plus 400, Trayvon Walker plus 400, and Kayvon Thibodeau plus 1,000 to go 2 overall.
So who's the number 1 pick? Neil.
They're probably going Neil.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be too mad at Hamilton being drafted, but
Giants.
also a part of me really hopes that, listen, I support, I'm a player dude. I think it would be better for him to go top 4, get that top 4 money. So go ahead, Kyle Hamilton. If he's not there at 5, so be it. It's cool.
All right, let me ask you this guy's question. We now know, and I'll be honest, I was on the train of draft Saquon Barkley just because I understand. I didn't understand back then about the draft value for safeties. I mean, for running backs. Do y'all feel, okay, what's the position on defense that you wouldn't draft top 5? Is it corner? No.
D-tackle, safety.
You wouldn't draft an Aaron Donald type of guy in top 5?
Oh, jeez. I mean, okay.
He impacts the shit out of the game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, here, would you draft Ed Reed, number 5?
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so you can't really say about the best players in that position, so that's not fair to say.
Yeah.
That's not fair to say. So what's the equivalent to you guys? What's the equivalent inside linebacker? Peter said inside linebacker. You would have drafted inside linebacker top 5.
No, for me it's DTs and middle linebackers. Safeties, I don't put safeties in that because what people don't realize.
You show me that they're up there on war.
The game is evolving, and that's what I want to hit at, right? The safeties are not what safeties were 10 years ago, right? This is why Jamal Adams, Landon Collins, right? You need a versatile safety in today's league, right? So you need a guy that can cover, you need a guy that can blitz, you need a guy who could, play the box, move forward, do it all. Because when you look in today's league, let's just use who's the best
offensive what?
Sean McVay had a brain fart, right?
Okay,
if you look at what he's doing, right? Saturday, Tuesday, they're looking at how can we create a mismatch. Most of them on what? Safeties and linebackers. It's all about formations, putting guys in motion, getting those one-on-ones. It's the safety. So their value is now more. What I'm in today's league is about, getting the ball in these receivers' hands quick, running to make a tackle, tackling for 4 quarters is about that. The game is changing. So I think with that, like you said, the war, you look at the PFF war rating, they're one of the most important positions in today's league, man. So
then here's my question to you: Would you want him at 5?
No, I wouldn't want him at 5. Honestly,
you have to take him at 5 because he won't be there at 7, correct?
Well, who knows?
Well,
because
knows? It's not that big of a gap. It's
because the Panthers aren't going to trade.
If he's there at 5,
if he's there at 5, he's there at 7. Okay.
It depends. It depends. Like, I mean, it really depends. You can't be mad because he is a top 4 player most likely, and I mean, if anything, that just puts us right back where we were, a way upgraded version of Logan Ryan, and then Love comes in as the backup guy. But now we've upgraded at that part. But I don't know. It would just be tough because I do agree. We don't need to walk away with a tackle or an offensive lineman in the first round to get this shit back together. There's still dudes that are capable later on, like a Daniel Faalele or Abraham Lucas. But I do think that if we it needs to be either tackle sauce or Kayvon Sauce. Like, it has to be that. For me to think that the draft is perfect, and who gives a fuck what I think, but for me to think that the draft is perfect, Kayvon and Sauce, or tackle and Sauce.
Or tackle and Kayvon.
That would be my Madden.
Or a tackle and Kayvon, right?
I mean, you can't.
You're able to get that. Remember that the Panthers are gonna pick up a quarterback.
That would be, bro. That would be. Hey, listen. What if a situation came up where the Panthers are like, we will trade you our 8th pick, we will trade you the 6th pick and next year's pick and a pick later on in this draft to get to 5.
Right.
So we don't, so that you don't even have to worry about the compensation someone's going to give you. If they give us that type of compensation, that's like 2 first and picks later on. Yeah, then there we go. Because guess what? That we get 6 and 7, and now we get to go back to back with this bitch. So
Peter agrees with you. Sal said Hamilton is a beast, but his impact on this team with X already here is a lot less. Adding OT, edge, and cornerback 1 are more important. That's my problem with that one. Right now, we don't know if Xavier McKinney is a good box safety. What we do know, he's a really good free safety, deep safety, center field type of safety. So are you making another hole, removing Xavier McKinney from where he's comfortable at and putting Kyle Hamilton at that free safety spot? Or are you going to ask Kyle Hamilton to be an in-the-box safety where he shined a lot on that center fielder? Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Mace.
I think you would. So I didn't watch the film at Alabama. I just read, but a lot of people said that McKinney was the Swiss Army knife, him and Isaiah Simmons.
Right.
A lot of take better moving forward. McKinney is a good tackler. I think he can play the box. He can do whatever. He can cover. He made a lot of money last year as a deep guy.
Field.
You put Hamilton as the box. I think the way Wink utilizes that strong as the blitzer cover.
Because just like Sal said, he doesn't use a lot of cover 2. He's always playing that cover 1 or that cover 3.
McKinney's your single.
Okay.
Hamilton, your do it all guy.
Okay.
If you were to, but edge is a bigger need, tackle is a bigger need, and QB1, of course, is always a big need. So I agree with my boy Sal. I feel like he's a luxury pick.
He's a luxury pick. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a perfect way of saying it. Yeah, that's perfect way of saying it.
Hopefully it doesn't matter. Hopefully he gets drafted number 1 overall, and then we're lit.
But we can't do it right now.
You imagine he goes number 1 overall?
Bro, if he goes number 1 overall, we're getting one of those dudes, and I'm fucking grittying all night.
We get Hamilton to go top 4 and Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Bro, if we get that, I'm calling in to work on Friday.
We win.
That's we're gonna get 2 bosses at 5 and 7.
Bro.
Yeah.
Let it happen.
Yeah.
Let it happen.
Mace, give me your any last remarks, anything you wanted to say, let us know right now, brother.
For those who are watching, you can catch me at on Twitter at Mace Real Mace Black. Just shout out the breaking tackles, man. I appreciate you guys. Long overdue. Happy to be on the show.
And you're coming back for sure.
For sure, yeah, for sure. I'll be back on here. It was pretty smooth. My final thoughts, man, for fans is let's just focus on the NFC East and just competing on the NFC East and let the chips fall how they fall. You don't have to look at this season as a complete throwaway. And I'm not saying, expect playoffs, but the goal is just to compete and let the chips fall how they fall. And you never know. It's the NFC East.
Peter already got the name for your new show. It's going to be Cooking with Mace, and it's coming soon. Yo, absolutely, absolutely 100%. First and foremost, what I want to say is just, Mace, thank you so much for coming to the show, brother. I appreciate it. You taking your time out of your day, out of your night, just to coming through and giving us your opinions, your takes on things. Dude, you've been on fire this offseason with just what you've posted on Twitter, and I just want to tell you this, and this is no jokes aside, keep pushing, bro. Like, there's a lot of people, sometimes, and this happened to me earlier in my Breaking Tackles Giants Twitter, there's a lot of people that when you're giving sideways takes, different takes, they're going to come at you 100 miles per hour. And I've seen you this offseason. You've gotten a lot of shit thrown at you. Yo, keep fucking going, bro. That's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. So don't let that shit discourage you. Keep going. I can't wait till you come and get your own show out there. But until then, bro, whenever the hell you want to come and say, yo, Tone, I got to speak that. I got to let my mind out. Bro, DM me and we'll get you on that show that same week. So that's not a problem at all.
That's love.
For Peter, for Sal, Ash, anybody who touched base with us on the chat. That's the first time that we did it and we had people actually interacting with us. We appreciate y'all. We're on Spotify finally, guys. Check the channel out. We just created a new channel for the Spotify. I mean, for the Spotify, for the YouTube, and I will get the Twitch to be. I'll start a new Twitch for BT for Breaking Tackle soon. This is my personal Twitch, but I'll get everything out of there. Man, I'm excited about this. To me, it's all about competing next season. I truly believe, and I'm glad that these two gentlemen on this chat also believe so, that we have a chance to freaking win and just be competitive next year. I don't want to be in the same top. I don't want to be in the top 5. I don't want to be in the top 10. The only way that I want to be in the top 5, top 10 is because the Giants traded a boatload of picks because they want XYZ quarterback of next year's draft class. So with that being said, everybody, for Mace, for Manny, I'm Tone. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night. Be safe, and we'll see you on Twitter, man. Have a great one.
God bless. Appreciate the support, y'all.